everyone. Welcome back to the Chloe and Leo Show. I'm Chloe.
And I'm Leo. And today we are talking about something that I think literally every single person listening can relate to. We're talking about digital minimalism and how to reclaim your focus in a world that is constantly trying to steal it.
Yes, and I have a confession to make before we even start. I was looking at my phone's screen time report last week, and Leo, I almost fell off my chair.
Oh no, how bad was it?
5 hours and 47 minutes per day on my phone alone. That doesn't even include my laptop or my TV. And get this, the average American spends about 5 hours on their smartphone every single day. That's like 83 days a year just staring at this little rectangle in your hand.
That's insane when you say it out loud, isn't it? 83 days a year. And across all devices, phones, laptops, TVs, tablets, the average American racks up 12 and a half hours of screen time daily. That's more than half of our waking hours.
12 and a half hours. That means we're basically spending more time with our screens than we are sleeping. And here's the really wild part. We check our phones nearly 200 times a day, which is about once every 5 minutes while we're awake.
Every 5 minutes. That's like, I can't even go 5 minutes without checking my phone. That's actually embarrassing.
I know, right? And almost half of Americans, like 46%, actually describe themselves as addicted to their phones. We're walking around with these devices and we know there's a problem.
And that's exactly why we wanted to talk about digital minimalism today. It's not about throwing your phone in the ocean or moving to a cabin in the woods with no Wi-Fi. It's about being intentional. It's about asking yourself, is this technology actually serving my life, or is it just taking up space?
Perfect segue. So let me give everyone a quick definition. Digital minimalism is basically a philosophy of technology use where you carefully choose which digital tools you allow into your life, and you have clear rules about how you use them. The idea was popularized by Cal Newport, who's a computer science professor at Georgetown University, which I think is really interesting because he's not some anti-tech person. He literally teaches computer science.
Exactly. He wrote this book called Digital Minimalism. And his whole argument is that we've sort of sleepwalked into this relationship with technology without ever stopping to ask whether it's actually making our lives better. We just downloaded the apps because everyone else did. We turned on notifications because that was the default setting. We never made conscious choices.
And the effects are real. I was reading about this concept called attention residue. Have you heard of this?
No, tell me about it.
Okay, so when you switch from one task to another, like you're working on something important, and then you glance at a notification, part of your attention actually stays stuck on the previous task. It doesn't fully transfer, so you're never really 100% focused on anything.
Oh, I feel this so deeply. It's like when I'm trying to write something and my phone buzzes, and even if I don't check it, my brain goes, ooh, what was that? Who texted me? Is it important? And then I spend the next 5 minutes trying to get back into the flow.
Yes, and there's actual research on this. A study from the University of Cambridge tracked over 300 knowledge workers for 6 months. The group that adopted digital minimalism practices showed a 31% improvement in sustained attention and reported 44% lower levels of mental fatigue by week 12. That's huge.
44% less mental fatigue. That's like getting an extra hour of sleep every night, or maybe more.
And another study from the Norwegian Institute of Public Health found that people who limited social media to just 30 minutes a day for 8 weeks showed significant gains in attention span and reduced symptoms of anxiety.
So the evidence is there. Less mindless scrolling equals better focus and less anxiety. But here's the question everyone's probably thinking. How? How do we actually do this? Because knowing something is bad for you and actually changing your behavior are two very different things.
100%. And this is where Cal Newport's 30-day digital declutter comes in. The idea is that for 30 days, you take a break from all optional technologies in your life.
Wait, define optional. Because I need my email for work. I need my Maps app to not get lost.
Right. So the key word is optional. Work email? Probably not optional if your job requires it. But Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, those random games on your phone, those are optional. You can live without them for 30 days. The goal is to hit pause on everything that isn't absolutely necessary. And then here's the important part. During those 30 days, you rediscover what actually brings you meaning and joy.
Okay, so you're not just sitting there staring at a wall for a month. You're actively replacing the scrolling time with real activities.
Exactly. And Cal Newport actually ran an experiment with this. He thought maybe 40 or 50 people would join his 30-day challenge. Guess how many signed up?
I don't know, 200?
1,600. People are hungry for this.
Wow, okay, that's actually really encouraging. It means we're not alone in feeling overwhelmed by all this. So what do people do during those 30 days? What are some of the replacement activities?
Great question. And I actually found some really inspiring real-life examples. There's this woman named Kai Yi Jing in China who did a digital detox. She tried to keep her social media use under 2 hours a day, and she replaced that scrolling time with a fixed running schedule. She also started chatting with people in her neighborhood, like the people who collect garbage or sell snacks, and she realized she'd been missing all these small moments of human connection. By the end of the year, she had finished 116 films and 56 books.
That's incredible. 116 films and 56 books in 1 year? Meanwhile, I'm proud of myself if I finish 3 books in a year.
Same. But see, that's the thing, we don't realize how much time we're losing to these little 5-minute scrolling sessions that add up to hours and hours.
And it's not just about productivity, right? It's about mental health too. I was reading about how screen fatigue isn't just about eye strain. It's this mental fog that affects your memory, your patience, your ability to just be present with people.
Yes. And here's another stat that blew my mind. 85% of Americans check their phone within the first 10 minutes of waking up. So before we even say good morning to our partner or our kids or our dog, we're already reaching for this device. That's not how humans are supposed to start their day.
Guilty. I literally do this every single morning. My phone is my alarm clock. So the first thing I do is grab it to turn off the alarm. And then I'm already holding it. So I might as well check my messages. And then Instagram is right there. And suddenly 20 minutes have passed and I'm still in bed.
You're describing my exact morning routine? And Cal Newport actually recommends that we should not use our phone as an alarm clock. Get a real alarm clock. Keep your phone outside your bedroom at night.
That's such a simple change, but it sounds so hard. My phone is like my security blanket at this point. 41% of people feel panic or anxiety if their battery drops below 20%. I am definitely one of those people.
Same. And over 3/4 of Americans feel uneasy leaving their phone at home. We've developed this attachment that is, honestly, it's not healthy.
So let's get practical. For someone listening right now who's thinking, okay, I want to try this digital minimalism thing, but I don't know where to start. What are some baby steps?
I love this question, and I want to be really honest, I'm not an expert. I'm just someone who's trying to figure this out like everyone else. But here are some things that have actually worked for me.
Hit us with it.
Okay, number 1. Turn off almost all notifications. Like, all of them. I only have notifications for phone calls, text messages from actual humans, and my calendar reminders. Everything else, Instagram, email, news apps, whatever notifications are off. When I want to check those things, I'll check them on my own terms.
That's huge. And I've heard this called ping minimalism, the idea that you switch off all notifications so you're not constantly being interrupted. Every ping is like a little tap on your shoulder saying, hey, pay attention to me instead of whatever you're doing.
Exactly. And here's the second thing. I moved all my social media apps off my home screen. They're now in a folder on the third page of my phone. It's a tiny bit of friction, but it actually works. When I unlock my phone, I don't see Instagram staring at me. I have to choose to go find it.
That's so smart. It's like putting the cookie jar on a high shelf instead of on the counter. You can still get the cookies, but you have to make a little effort.
Perfect analogy. Third thing, I bought a real alarm clock. It cost me like $15. Now my phone charges in the living room overnight, and I don't look at it until after I've had my coffee and done my morning routine.
How did that feel the first few days?
Honestly, weird. Really weird. I felt this little itch, like my hand kept reaching for my nightstand where my phone used to be, but by day 4 or 5, it started feeling amazing. I was waking up more slowly, more peacefully. I wasn't immediately flooded with emails and news and other people's problems.
That sounds lovely. Okay, what's number 4?
Number 4 is something I'm still working on, but I've started scheduling specific times to check social media and email. Like, I check email at 10 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, and once more around 5. That's it, not constantly throughout the day.
This is the one I struggle with the most, because part of me feels like I need to be responsive. What if someone emails me something urgent?
I had the exact same worry. But here's what I've learned. If something is truly urgent, people will call you or text you. Email is not designed for emergencies. And honestly, most things can wait a few hours.
That's a really good point. We've trained ourselves to believe everything is urgent when most things really aren't.
And the research backs this up. That Cambridge study I mentioned earlier, turning off notifications and checking messages at set times, can reclaim up to 90 minutes of focused time per week. 90 minutes. That's almost a whole movie.
Okay, I'm sold. I'm going to try the notification thing starting today.
Do it, and let me know how it goes. Now, I want to pivot a little bit because there's something really interesting happening in the research world about digital minimalism. Did you know that people who practice screen-free mornings, no devices for the first 90 minutes after waking, show stronger alpha wave activity in their brains?
Okay, you're going to have to explain that for those of us who didn't study neuroscience.
Fair enough. Alpha waves are associated with relaxed focus and creativity. So basically, when you don't immediately flood your brain with notifications and information first thing in the morning, your brain actually works better. A study from the University of Tokyo found this in early 2025 using EEG scans.
That's fascinating. So the first thing we do when we wake up, grabbing our phone, is basically the worst possible thing for our creativity and focus for the rest of the day.
Exactly. And there's another study I found that really stuck with me. Researchers found that people who practice digital minimalism enter flow states. You know, that feeling where you're completely absorbed in what you're doing and time just disappears 2.3 times more often than people who don't.
2.3 times more flow states? That's incredible. Flow is like, that's when you do your best work. That's when you feel most alive and engaged.
Yes. And isn't that what we all want? Not just to be less distracted, but to actually feel more present and engaged in our own lives?
Absolutely. And I think that's the key distinction with digital minimalism. It's not about deprivation. It's not about saying no to technology. It's about saying yes to the things that actually matter to you.
Cal Newport puts it really well. He says, technology is neither good nor bad. It's about whether you're using it to support your goals and values, or whether it's using you. That's the whole philosophy in one sentence.
That's so good. Are you using technology, or is technology using you? That's a question I'm going to start asking myself every time I open an app.
Right? And here's another thing I've been thinking about. Digital minimalists are actually all around us. They're the calm, happy people who can have long conversations without sneaking glances at their phones. They're the people who get lost in a good book, or a morning run, or a woodworking project. They don't feel FOMO, fear of missing out, because they already know what activities give them meaning and satisfaction.
I want to be that person. I really do. But I also have to be honest, I've tried digital detoxes before, and I've failed. Like, spectacularly failed.
Oh, tell me about it.
So last year, I decided I was going to take a whole weekend off from my phone. No social media, no email, no nothing. I was going to read books and go for walks and be present. Made it about 4 hours.
What happened?
I got bored, genuinely bored. And it made me realize something kind of uncomfortable. I don't really know what to do with myself when I'm not being entertained or stimulated by a screen.
That's such an honest thing to admit, and I think a lot of people feel exactly the same way. We've forgotten how to be bored. We've forgotten that boredom is actually where creativity comes from.
Yes! And Cal Newport talks about this too. He says we need to rediscover high-quality leisure activities, things that actually engage us, not just passively consume. So it's not enough to just say, I'm not going to use my phone. You have to have something meaningful to replace it with.
Exactly. That's why the 30-day digital declutter isn't just about taking a break. It's about actively rediscovering what you love. Maybe it's painting. Maybe it's learning an instrument. Maybe it's actually having long conversations with friends without phones on the table.
Okay, let's talk about the social aspect for a minute. Because one of the hardest parts of digital minimalism, for me at least, is the social pressure. Everyone expects you to be available all the time. If I don't respond to a text within an hour, people think something is wrong.
This is so real. And I think we need to have honest conversations with the people in our lives about this. Something as simple as telling your friends, hey, I'm trying to be less attached to my phone, so I might not respond right away. But I'm not ignoring you. I'll get back to you when I can.
That's actually a really good idea. Just setting expectations. Most reasonable people will understand.
And here's a statistic that might motivate people. A study found that 12-year-olds who own a smartphone have 30% higher odds of depression, 40% higher odds of obesity, and 60% higher odds of insufficient sleep compared to kids who don't have one. That's not just about adults. This is affecting our kids too.
Those numbers are genuinely scary. 60% higher odds of insufficient sleep. Sleep is everything for a developing brain.
And for adult brains too. We keep telling ourselves just one more video, and suddenly it's 1 a.m. and we've been scrolling for 2 hours.
Guilty. Okay, so we've talked about the problem, we've talked about some solutions. What's your personal digital minimalism goal for the next month?
Great question. I'm actually going to try the 30-day digital declutter, but I'm going to do it with some modifications. I'm not going cold turkey on everything because I know that doesn't work for me. But I'm committing to no social media before 10 a.m. or after 9 p.m. And I'm going to keep my phone out of my bedroom for the whole 30 days.
That feels really doable. And you're setting yourself up for success by not being too extreme.
Exactly. What about you? What's your goal?
I'm going to start with notifications. I'm turning off every single notification except for calls and texts. And I'm going to try the thing where I only check email 3 times a day. That's my commitment for the next month.
I love that. And we should check in with each other in a few weeks and see how it's going.
Yes. Maybe we can do a follow-up episode and share what worked and what didn't.
That would be so fun. And for everyone listening, we'd love to hear about your experiences too. If you've tried digital minimalism or a digital detox, what worked for you? What was hard? What surprised you? Leave a comment and let us know.
And if you're feeling inspired to try some of this yourself, here's a quick recap of the baby steps we talked about. Turn off non-essential notifications. Move social media apps off your home screen. Get a real alarm clock and keep your phone out of your bedroom at night and schedule specific times to check email and social media.
Perfect summary. And remember, the goal isn't to be perfect. It's to be a little more intentional, a little more present, a little more in control of your own attention.
Because your attention is one of the most valuable things you have. And there are literally thousands of engineers and algorithms working every day to steal it from you. Digital minimalism is just about taking it back.
That's such a powerful way to put it. Taking back your attention.
All right, everyone. That's all for this episode of the Chloe and Leo Show. We hope you found this conversation helpful or at least entertaining.
And if you're watching this on your phone right now, maybe put it down after this and go for a walk. Just a suggestion.
Just a suggestion. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye, everyone.